on the screen you must be seeing managing brand over time. That means 3 R's. Which are those three R's which are very important in managing your brand over a long period of time? One is you have to reinforce it. You have to keep on telling about it, restore it and reinvent it. Okay, so we'll be dealing with all of these one by one. Let me go to the next slide. One second. See what basically whenever we have to reinforce or restore or reinvent, we have to make a strategy. Why I've actually gone to the previous slide actually. One second. So I was right actually. Successful brand extension. So what does it basically need? It needs that while maintaining your sense of your brand identity, at the same time you have to tell your customers, whether it is the new customer or the previous customer, you have to keep on telling them, especially those in the consumer packaged goods category, like, we are here, you don't have to forget us, right? Otherwise what happens, if you don't reinforce, what will happen after some time? There are so many other brands which are being bombarded every moment in the market, so you may lose your loyal customers to them also. It doesn't matter how how much you are loyal to a brand, because everybody wants variety. After certain time, you may want to explore something new. Okay, na? So you have to be very very smart in this manner, where you have to ask certain questions. And what are those certain questions? First is how the brand continue to grow while avoiding an identity crisis. Means when it is time for a brand to refresh, that means you have to keep some changes also, but at the same time you don't have to lose your identity. You have to refresh it also, but not losing your identity. Okay, they should be able to relate to your brand. Is the brand story still relevant? For the big brands like Coca-Cola and Nike, it will always be. Pepsi ho jaye, Coca-Cola, but then your story has always to be able to convey the same message. Now next question that you will ask is, which brand attributes will grow market share and which should be left behind? That means when you are focusing on the 3 R's, that is reinforce, restore, reinvent, you have to let go of few of things, and you have to understand that you may have to devise some new patterns also, devise some new strategies also, which will make your market share grow. That you have to keep a constant lookout in the market, right? How can a brand be continually relevant and honors its heritage? That also you have to keep in your mind. Okay? And managing a brand is a real balance. It is like walking on a tightrope. It's not easy. It may look very easy, but it is not. It takes years of trying and testing to get to that level. Coca-Cola, Nike, and whatsoever that you see, it has taken a long time to get to this position. Look at Apple, Nike, Coca-Cola. As I told you, over time they have held true to the core beliefs of these companies, their unique assets, so they never lose the relevance. So managing brand is all about maintaining a balance. Refresh bhi karna hai, reinvent bhi karna hai, but don't lose your brand identity also. So it takes discipline, है ना? आपको discipline रहना है, committed रहना है to achieve that status, जो कि Apple, Nike or Coca-Cola, they have already got it, right? Now Coca-Cola, in between, they started with a white seasonal can, which was not successful. So consumers were highly apprehensive about the signature Coca-Cola's red can. So they discarded it. They did not like that idea at all. because it caused a lot of confusion. So what they did, Coca-Cola switched back to the red can, right? So brand is influenced by ever-changing market dynamics, whether it is culture, whether it is behavior, whether there is a competition in the market. So you have to keep a tab on everything. That means when you are evaluating strength from an internal perspective of a brand, तो क्या करोगे? It is important to focus on the fundamentals and also the culture. So उसके लिए you will keep some things in your mind. ठीक है? Like is there clarity about the brand's value? ठीक है? And what about the target audience? Is there commitment to investing in the brand? Does the brand have the ability to effectually respond to the market changes? ये सब चीज़ें हो रही हैं क्या? नहीं हो रही? तो you have to reconsider that, right? So if there is uncertainty in any of these areas, then this is the time that you have to revisit your brand strategy. That means do some changes. All right, you may reinforce, you may revitalize, or you may restore or reinvent something. You will have to, some innovation you will have to do. ठीक है? Now, as I told you, brand, managing a brand over time is a balance. It's a continuous process. You cannot say कि I did this last year, now it is going on smoothly. No, it's a continual process. That filtering opportunities through the brand's core belief and attribute, these are the two keys for ensuring success and ensuring that consumers find the brand relevant and meaningful, right? So what is brand reinforcement? Brand reinforcement means maintaining brand's equity. To maintain the brand equity, what will they do? You will make sure that the consumers, they have the desired structure in place, so that the brand continues to have its necessary source of equity, that it is always in demand. It is always in demand by the consumers. So when it is in demand, your equity goes up, go high, right? So keep the brand alive by reinforcement among the existing, and also try to woo the new customers also. ठीक है ना? It's always important to attract new customers along with the existing one. So this can be done by constantly and consistently conveying the meaning of a brand, right? What are the products under the brand? बार बार उनको बताना है. What are its core benefit? है ना? वो भी आपको बार बार reinforce करते जाना है, बार बार. Every time you have to keep on bombarding it, right? See, what are the products under the brand? You have to understand what are its core benefit and how it satisfies the demand. ये सब आपको सोचना है. How is the brand different from the other brand? You have to also, जब भी आप ad बताओगे, when you are reinforcing, you have to tell how is it different from the other brand. How it enables the customers to make a strong, unique and favorable association in their mind. You have to be very, very careful. So in this brand, where's my pen? In this brand reinforcement, you have to make sure that brand awareness and brand image are two important aspects. Brand awareness means brand includes which products. Then जो अभी just now question I had posed that answered these things. They answered what are the benefits of the product. ये उनको बार बार बताते जाना है. Sorry, I will have to go back. You have to tell this again and again. Reinforce. ठीक है? What are the benefits of the product? How the product satisfies the demand of the consumer. और brand का image, what does it convey? It will tell how the brand is different from the other. How to create a strong, unique, favorable association in the customer's mind. ठीक है? So this involves reinforcement, advertisement, right? बार बार reinforce करोगे to consumer who have already tried your product and used your product. Before you aim at reminding them of its continued existence. So you have to make sure that they use it. They must have tried it, है ना? And you have to tell them that yes, you have made a right choice. आप हमारा कर रहे हो, so you are on the right path by choosing our product. ठीक है ना. सो ब्रांड रीइंफोर्समेंट में आपको रेगुलर मॉनिटर करते जाना है. यू हैव टू कॉन्स्टेंटली मॉनिटर. कहाँ से स्लिप नहीं होना चाहिए कुछ भी आपके हाथ से, ठीक है ना, राइट. सो ड्यूरिंग आपके इंट्रोडक्शन स्टेज हो, चाहे ग्रोथ का स्टेज हो, मैच्योरिटी का स्टेज हो या डिक्लाइन, एवरी स्टेज में यू हैव टू कीप सम स्ट्रैटेजी सो दैट you don't slip away from the mind of the consumer, right? So in order to keep the brand in the minds of the consumer, what will you do? You will innovate, you will do some more researches कि कहाँ गड़बड़ हो रही है, right? You will also do some creative marketing, ठीक है ना. So according to Kevin Keller, requirements of brand reinforcement में क्या क्या चीज़ें ज़रूरी होती हैं. So according to Kevin Keller, it's very important to maintain brand consistency. मतलब, so brand consistency will make consumers to get familiarized with the brand, and it will also enhance their perception about the uniqueness of the brand. ठीक है. They will find, they will, because आप consistent हो ना, लगातार एक ही बात बोल रहे हो, right? So you, what are you doing? You know, leadership can be attributed to consistency. जैसे कोको कोला है, टाइटन है, जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन, these can be quoted as a few examples who are very consistent in their strategy. कौन कौन से मैंने बोले नाम, टाइटन, कोको कोला एंड जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन. So Johnson and Johnson baby products, they are using the same tagline for many years consistently. क्या, कौन सा tagline है? You remember? That it is recommended by over 90% of the doctor. And हमेशा उसके जॉनसन्स एंड जॉनसन्स के बेबी प्रोडक्ट में they'll always show you a very affectionate mother and a very cute child. So they are consistent with that, right? Next point is protecting the sources of brand equity. You know, there is very little need to deviate from the successful positioning unless the current positioning is being affected by some either internal or external factors which is making it less powerful. So you have to protect sources of brand equity. Fortifying versus leveraging, what is that? Now fortifying means basically to refer to the enhancing of brand equity. कितना awareness है, कितना perception है, उसका opposite है कितना पैसा उससे बनता है. Leveraging means making money from the brand, right? So therefore there should be a proper balance between fortifying and leveraging brand. So fortifying means कैसे enhance करना है equity को, brand equity को, by in terms of awareness customer का कितना है and perception कैसा है, and उससे कितना पैसा बनाना है, how much money you can make from by leveraging that. Now fine tuning support marketing system. इसमें क्या है, you are trying to improve the product related performance or even the non product related imagery association. ठीक है. अभी टाइटन when they started with the watches, but then they also came up with the fast track goggles which were very stylish and they aimed at younger generation, youth ko, right? So fast track in both the categories, whether it was watches or goggles, you know, they reinforced through its co-branded watches. ठीक है. So product related performance association and non-product related imagery association. So they used both of them here. Next is product related performance association. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? वही सेम हो गया. So sorry, it's again same. Product related performance association. आपने यहाँ पे जो टाइटन का एग्जाम्पल मैंने लिया, that was they everybody knows Titan, but now what was it? The new product which was fast track, they aimed at the youth. So they already know the performance of Titans. Now they were targeting the youth also with that. कि performance तो आपको best मिलने वाला है Titan में, right? Okay. Now brand reinforcement can be done through many ways. Like first is advertising कर सकते हो. I don't have to speak on this because you know it. बार बार advertising करोगे तो that means it is very, you know, you keep yourself alive in the minds of your consumers, right? Advertising कहीं पे भी करो, whether now तो you have online platforms also, you also have radios and television, so many internet and all. Now exhibitions करो, you know, exhibition are different from advertising because you give a platform, you exhibit your product, people can come and you demonstrate it, they can touch and feel, it gives them a real life experience. So exhibition will be able to also garner many new customers because they who have not been interested in your brand, once they go to exhibition they may, because it is you are giving them for free of cost to feel for some time, they can touch it, they can get more knowledge about it, you are providing them some extra knowledge who, sometimes you also lure the customers by giving some keychains and all. These are small things, but then they customers they like it, right? You in exhibition you give them the experience of using that thing. Then is events and sponsorship. ये भी almost on the same line as exhibition, ठीक है ना? So it basically reinforces the brand again. कई बड़े बड़े companies they sponsor an event, right? For example, कौन सा है that is called there's so many things. अब क्या एक एक का नाम नहीं बता पाऊँगी. There was one exhibition in Mumbai where my son went, and then he cycled. I don't and that's the problem with me, I don't sometimes remember the names of the brand. That was, I think, yeah, he was supposed to cycle for an hour, and that was a stationary cycle. So once he did that, he got an experience of those. That was a sports cycle brand. I don't know the name. I'll get the name. I'll tell you. So he did. He cycled it for 1 hour, and then he was, given a T-shirt, a water bottle, a cool water bottle, and then he was also given keychains and also socks of that brand. So definitely he got an experience of cycling that. Then later on, we were supposed to buy that cycle, but then we did not. But then they gave us that experience. And my son, who was interested in getting that gear wala bicycle, so he had an experience of using it. Though we bought another one that was very bad on our part, but ठीक है, right? So here events and sponsorship में एक और भी चीज़ होती है कि you can MRF racing cars events, ये सब these are the sports events and sponsorship when they try to showcase their products to the consumers, right? Then is the showroom layout. You know what it is. Showroom में, because whenever you are really interested, you will definitely visit a showroom. That's the final point, when you have to go. In the events, in the exhibition sponsorship, you may have the idea, but you are not buying. You will land up to the showroom only when you have that interest, when when your thought is translating into, purchasing. Okay? So brands are placed in the retail outlets or stores, and they keep on reminding the customers that we are here. You can, take us home, right? Like that. So sales promotion. So it's mostly used for reinforcement, so that, basically several companies they adopt this type of sales promotion where they offer special offer, freebies, discount, gift packs, okay, along with the given product. So that is promotion. So this is done with the intention so that customers they are retained with them, okay, and they attract at the same time, they attract the new ones also, new customers also. Now, what do you mean by brand revitalization? So उसमें क्या था? Basically sales, each firm they try to maintain its brand position in the mind of prospective customers, such that the life of the products that gets extended and you remain in their minds forever. Okay? Now what is brand revitalization? That means when brands they need to revive their presence or you can say fortune by returning to their roots. So in order to recapture the lost glory, lost sources of equity, then it is known as brand revitalization. Sometimes brands are on the verge of declining. तो क्या करोगे? उसमें pump करोगे ना, life pump करोगे, right? So what marketing will you do? What managerial tactics will you employ to revitalize the brand in the mind of the consumer? You will try to differentiate it from others. कि ये किससे दूसरों से किस तरह अलग है और क्या फ़ायदा है इसका, right? तभी तो आपका होएगा ना, इंक्रीज होगा ना कस्टमर बेस. You have to tell that to your customers. You have to show presence of brand's core image in the minds of consumer. When a brand is revitalized, what will you do? uh, People would be interested in seeing कि when it is being revitalized, has it got something new in it? It died because of certain reason. So have they corrected it? They have come up again. They have revitalized that brand. But what is new in it? What have they done to improve it? Because it was a dying brand, right? Revitalizing happens only when something is declining. So they would be interested in knowing that. So what are the steps to revitalize a brand? New users to develop new user occasions of the product, then distribution change to develop newer ways of reaching the target audience, then innovation to technologically advance the product. कोई भी प्रोडक्ट को अगर वहीं पे छोड़ देंगे, एडवांस नहीं करेंगे, it is going to decline. Then segment the brand and if necessary create a sub brand. ठीक है, opinion leaders to target the trendsetters. Then you have to do 360-degree communication to make use of all the marketing communication tools together. आपको सब कुछ यूज़ करके कोशिश करनी है, और ज़रूरी नहीं है इसमें से सभी यूज़ करो, हो सकता है आपके 2-3 टेक्स विल ओनली हेल्प यू. ठीक है ना. देन चेंज इन द यू हैव टू चेंज इन द बिजनेस मॉडल समटाइम. पूरा का पूरा चेंज करने में बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है, बट देन इट इज़ ओके. Let the brand be handled by a new set of people. Sometimes new people will get a new idea, right? Which usually happen in case of acquisition or mergers. When some of the things are done by acquisition, there is a new set of managers, new minds will be playing on that, so may be able to revitalize it, right? Next point is main strategies of brand revitalization. See, first is expanding the brand awareness. How? Through these three main things: identifying additional or new usage opportunities, then identifying new and different ways to use the brand. Same brand can be used ना, तो उनको वो बताना है. You have to let your customer know. Improving brand image through repositioning the brand. So I will talk about all these things in detail. See, identifying additional or new usage opportunities. For example, you must have seen Parle Monaco biscuit. It was promoted as a tasty and unsalty as well. But later on, they gave a new usage. How? They said now Monaco can be used as a topping for various food items, and later on it was promoted as an ingredient for various recipes. So for what did they do? They also came up with the recipe booklets. They also published their online pages with the recipe of Monaco giving as a ingredient of a new recipe. So people want after reading those recipes, they wanted to try out that, right? And what happened? What happened after that? Sales, they increased, right? For that, they designed special recipe books, web pages. So this innovative practice was followed by other biscuits also. Remember, Milkmaid also came up, Oreo also came up after that, Parle-G also started, that you can make a cake out of Parle-G. So many things happened after that. Okay? Now, next is identifying new and different ways to use the brand. Right? Now, by identifying new ways of using the brand, for example, Cadbury's, they changed the USP in India by Shubh Arambh to खाने के बाद कुछ मीठा हो जाए. So earlier they used to say whenever you are starting something, Shubh Arambh करना है, so you have to use Cadbury. Then they changed कि after eating, whenever you want something मीठा, so खाने के बाद कुछ मीठा हो जाए. And then they also started promoting Cadbury's as an ideal gift for Raksha Bandhan, for Diwali, for and it actually replaced the traditional Indian sweets. So this was a different way to use the brand, right? Now, improving brand image. Here, you see Airtel, how it repositioned itself. Airtel repositioned itself, as a India's largest telecom service provider in 2010. Then Maruti also positioned itself as the car of the middle class, right? Then Nestle positioned its Perk brand from leisure time to energy by introducing Perk glucose. Red Label ने क्या किया? It tried to reposition itself as a new tea with added vitamins in it. Then also Red Label came up with Ayurvedic tea. So customers may suspect, sometimes they may like it, sometimes these things they fall flat. They may not be liked, right? So they just like Vico, you remember Vico brand? So it also introduced multi-purpose Ayurvedic cream for shaving, antiseptic lotion, facial, but it totally failed to attract the customers because customer के mindset में वो नहीं गया. But at the same time, when Dettol used it, they liked it, right? So this you have to understand. If the customers they don't like it, then you may have tried it for some time, but उसके बाद you have to stop it because you don't want to keep on losing, right? When the customers they are not liking, बात खत्म ना, right? Now next point is change the brand element. Means this refers to the change of one or more brand elements in order to convey that the brand has taken a new meaning. For example, Tata Engineering, they became Tata Motors because they wanted to shift from trucks to that now they can make cars also, right? Understood? So this is how then you have to entering new markets. So that means you have to refer to the identifying growth potential in the new markets, in the target market. For example, Horlicks ने क्या किया था? Horlicks is basically children's drink, but they entered in 2008. They entered as a women's Horlicks, right? Women Horlicks in India. There is a disturbance coming. I don't know. One second. Anyways, okay. So this is how you can enter new market. Being the same brand, you first your target was children. It was Horlicks was children's drink. There is some noise here. Hello, you will have to unmute. Akash, you will have to mute yourself. Huh? Thank you so much. Huh? So we were talking about Horlicks. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now building global customer based brand equity. What is global? Global branding is trying to make your brand reach the international market. Apart from your own country, you want to introduce it to in multiple countries with similar marketing strategies. Sometimes strategies may be similar, sometimes may differ. Sometimes you have to use a different tack because it may not be perceived well in another culture, right? So it's the act of marketing a product or service under the same name, sometime with the same strategy, but sometime with a different marketing strategy because you don't know what type of cultures they have, right? You have to make sure before entering that field, right? Now as companies they expand globally, what do they do? For example, Johnson and Johnson, what did it do? So Johnson and Johnson was a premium baby product, right? So it had a very high pricing, but it is believed that the popular band-aid adhesive bandage जो कि Johnson and Johnson के ही small packets थे, so they wanted to market in the developing countries also. So what they came up with an idea, let's have a small packaging rather than making a big packages, which developed countries में तो people they are rich, they can buy it. So it might sell a 4-pack of band-aid instead of a larger box. So it in the developed world or developed countries. So here in the small developing countries, they came up with a small size bottle of baby shampoo instead of a full size, because you have to look at who are the people who are buying. Same strategy was applied by Parle G also. It has come up with a big pack, family pack also. It has come with a very small packet of 5 rupees. Because sometimes there are laborers who are interested in having just food, 5 rupees mein kharida and just have it. So this is how you have to understand the psyche of the consumer. So an Apple phone on the other hand, agar aap dekhoge, you will see is the same product, whether it is purchased in China, whether it is purchased in developing countries, or whether it is purchased in USA. ठीक है ना? Google, whose parent company is Alphabet Inc, I told you that day. So it provides the same internet search engine anywhere in the world, whether it is Eastern world or Western world, right? But here also Alphabet Inc has acceded to the demands of China, because China has some policies where they cannot show certain contents. They restrict some information because it's a communist country. So being a global giant, also Google had to accede to the demands of China. So that means you have to understand what will be successful rather than being forceful, right? Now, what is standardized global marketing? What is standardized global marketing? Means you are trying to make use of the same marketing or global branding or strategies all over the world. One standardized global marketing strategy all over the world. This is standardized. Got it? So that means a company is using the same marketing strategies all around the globe with very little change or no change, other than the translation of the language. Because if they will not translate, they will not be, definitely if a company has to sell its product very nicely in India, they have to use Hindi, right? In China they will have to use Mandarin. Similarly, they will only change the language, otherwise the branding strategies is going to be the same all over the world. This also means not only language, like for example McDonald's hamburger or Starbucks caramel macchiato, it should be tasting the same anywhere in the world. So whether you are eating in United States or whether you are having it in India or Russia, it has to be same. So that means it has to be standardized. Not only marketing has to be standardized, but the product, they have to be of the same type. They have to keep up with the same standard, right? Next is adapted versus global marketing. Adapted wale people, they think that consumer in different countries are simply different. So what they will do, because they are different consumer, they will have different needs, they will have different demands. Okay, so what they will do, they will try to bring that uniqueness according to the culture, preferences, or their shopping patterns. Okay, so marketing strategies should be tailored according to the country's choice or specific demand, cultural needs, or while maintaining the overall brand image. Okay, but however, what has happened, technology is making the global market a smaller place. So अभी इतना ज़्यादा change करने का भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, because the world has become a small world. We know everything what is happening around, so we don't have to change much. And the needs of the consumer around the world, they are becoming similar. पहले different थे, but अभी because of technology, internet के onset से what has happened, everybody has the same need. Everybody is exposed to the same thing. So standardized, global branding and marketing help keep the brand unified from one country to another. So product should be same, whether it is in India or whether it is in China, whether it is in Pakistan or whether it is in America. Okay? So what are the benefits of global marketing now? Tell me. Definitely बहुत बड़ा client base that you have got, right? Global marketing से यही है ना, you can now showcase your product all over the world, right? You will increase the number of customers, right? And definitely when the numbers of customers they increase, क्या होता है? Your revenue, your profit, equity, share, everything goes up, right? So marketing globally will improve the effectiveness of the company's product and service. Then global branding will create a stronger competitive advantage for the company. Okay, global branding, what will it do? It will also market, it will increase the customer awareness of the company. Okay, now you know that. Next, branding globally but adapting locally. Now you will, I'll show you 4 companies. I don't know whether I have written it. No, I have not written it. I'll write it for you. One second, I'll write these, the name of few companies. जैसे कि है, here I will write it for you. Apple है, then Starbucks है. Now you all know what is Starbucks. आज से 10 साल पहले किसी को पता था क्या? नहीं ना. Coca-Cola, it has been there since so long, but then IKEA, it has just come to India. I've told you earlier also, please go and visit. It's a German based company, and they've got very good products. Okay, very nice products. So these companies, they have come to, they have tailored, actually they have changed themselves, their product according to their market. If they have, IKEA has come to India, they know the needs and demands of people, or at least even if they have to introduce something which is not actually used in India, so what do? They try to educate the people here in India. At least their marketing strategies will show those things can be used, how it can be used here to local cultures and the regions whenever it is needed, right? Coca-Cola to already it is made. So I'm talking about IKEA because it has just come 3 or 4 years back. So Apple, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, ये तो पुराने examples. They've already established themselves as a global brand. They don't have to work hard. Now, the look and feel of all these global brand, they don't change from one country to another. They are same. IKEA का store, whether you go and see in Dubai or whether you go and see in America, it is going to be the same. Similarly, McDonald's, every setting is going to be the same. It is not going to change. So Starbucks or Coca-Cola beverage look, feel, taste and सब कुछ, you will find everything same all over the world, right? Because it has to resonate with the customers. You should have the feel, yes, you are going. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए ना कि कोको कोला अगर अमेरिका में पी रहे हो तो उसका टेस्ट भी डिफरेंट होना चाहिए एंड लुक एंड फील भी डिफरेंट होना चाहिए. नो, इट हैज़ टू बी वन. दैट्स हाउ इट हैज़ कम एज अ ग्लोबल ब्रांड, राइट? आप स्टारबक्स कैफ़े में बैठे हो, अभी अगर आप हांगकॉन्ग में बैठे हो और इंडिया में बैठे हो, इट शुड गिव यू द सेम एम्बियंस, इट हैज़ टू गिव यू द सेम टेस्ट ऑफ द कॉफ़ी. दैट इज़ कॉल्ड ग्लोबल ब्रांडिंग. ठीक है, गॉट इट? It has to resonate all over the world in the same manner. So, but how to achieve that global branding? You have to maintain your corporate identity. It's very important. So, what do the successful brands they do? They use their corporate identity to reassure the customers and also distributor that the company is a reliable company and you will get the same thing anywhere around the world, right? They also maintain the consistency. As I told you earlier also, consistent रहना अपने प्रोडक्ट के लिए. मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजीज ऑल्सो ऑलमोस्ट द सेम. ठीक है, उसमें पैकेजिंग भी आ जाता है, टेस्ट भी आ जाता है, कनेक्टिविटी. नाउ द यूज़ ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट ब्रांड, दे कनेक्टिविटी किससे होती है? लोगोज से ना. लोगोज एंड दीज आर कॉल्ड आइडेंटिफायर्स. सो दे हैव टू कीप द सेम थिंग एवरीवेयर. देन लोकलाइजेशन. अभी brand which is in India, they have to definitely to speak its international audience, so they will have to translate, right? Translate the language to in order to not to lose the intended message should be same, but it has to be translated into that. Then only localization will happen. आप अभी यहाँ पे if you come to Chandigarh, the same advertisement they run in Punjabi. If you go to Tamil Nadu, the same languages they run in Tamil, right? So that is called localization. But the brand will remain international only. Anywhere you go, it is not going to change. So it has to have a universal appeal. Again, the same thing, it has to be universally understood and adapted to different markets, right? Having an understanding of the local culture and taste is necessary, but at the same time it has to have a universal appeal. It has to be adaptable. That means having a strong grasp of what is demanded in the local segment. What are they interested in? What do they like to purchase? They have to keep that. Then they have to adapt according to their needs, okay? And they have to be unique, definitely, right? They should have that uniqueness, that X factor, which will enable the brand to stand out from the crowd. It's very important, right? Now we will do one case study. मुझे लग रहा था कि मैं आपके 2 क्लासेस लूँगी, बट मेरा तो एक में ही आज पूरा हो जाएगा. Okay, 1 second. कितने बजे तक मेरा क्लास है? 1 second, just give me 1 second, let me see. My class is going to be till 1:40. No, 3:40. नहीं, आई थिंक एक ही क्लास में मेरा आज पूरा वाइंड अप हो जाएगा, ठीक है. नाउ विल डू स्टडी ऑफ केस स्टडी ऑफ मास्टर कार्ड, ठीक है. नाउ मास्टर कार्ड, इट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन द ईयर 1997, बट यू नो व्हाट हैपेंड, Mastercard integrated all its campaign and marketing practices within the United States, and then this became a marketing platform that formed the basis for many globalization decisions that happened later on, right? So starting with a locally developed positioning and then successfully expanding it globally is one way. पहले तो अपने आप को पूरा अच्छे से साबित करो एक जगह पे, and then expand globally is the best approach for global branding and positioning, you know, right? So Mastercard did that way, right? Mastercard's new positioning was readily accepted. Why? Because you know, all market, because of the quality of and the insight that it gave, they recognized it across various cultures, various countries. They accepted it because it was already associated with that, you know, what do you say, it already had that recognition in one country, right? So Mastercard, basically it has you know, created economies of scale and scope, and hence, you know, benefited from aggregation principle, okay? The company has used adaptation and other strategies you know, to implement this usage all across the globe. All right. Apart from that, Mastercard, there had been other cards as well, and which followed the same pattern, like American Express देख रहे हो, Visa देख रहे हो. So see how, which places they are. American Express is mostly used in India, China, then you know, America. These are the few countries. अभी सब dominate सबसे ज़्यादा कौन सा कर रहा है? Visa card. You can see Russia है, all the Arab countries and Africa, then in South America also, and all the eastern countries, Japan. So everybody is using Visa card. So how they have globalized? First you spread your roots in one place, become master, and slowly start expanding, right? So that was all. I was able to finish in one lecture. I'm so happy. That's why yesterday I actually did not take class, because I was having some important work, right? So that was all. This was the case study, how you can go globally. There is one more case study given in the book that you can do. It is about Henkel's. So but that you do on your own.